On this episode of Enclosure Talk, we have our new Deli display units on display. So I wanted to have the shop lights off so you can kind of see some of the optional LED glow there. Looking super cool, but let me go flip those on and I can continue on with the rest of this Enclosure Talk. And I'm back with the lights on. So these are our Deli display units. Steven actually built a couple of prototype units that I took to a gecko show this year to test out, and the functionality was awesome. Sold a ton of geckos, people loved them, had great feedback, and so we decided to put them into full production, and these are some of the first units to come off the assembly line here, made in the USA. We've got a couple more to do, but really stoked on how these came out. Steven put a lot of design effort into these for both the vendor and the animals. So these are black units. They are optioned with the optional LEDs. The LEDs are dimmable. You can also see that the optional LEDs are facing downwards, so you get a little bounce light, but not directly at the animals since you're going to be at the show all day. Okay, let me see what the breakdowns here are. Let me start with, you've got full 1/4 inch abrasion resistant polycarbonate. Those doors are super awesome. They do tilt. So where we're standing now is where your customers would be. So you'd be standing back behind it. You can see it is tilted. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail here in a second. But as far as the door there, that is the clear polycarbonate, so people can take a look at your animals, but they can't reach in. It is also lockable, so if you have to walk away for any reason, or you just want it to be secure, you've got keyed locks on both units. But super simple. When I was vending with the geckos, somebody would tell me which one they want. You just lift the lid up and grab your deli, and super easy to go there. Just lift it back up and you can set them in there. So speaking of setting them in there, I know I'm kind of going around here, but as I think about it, ADHD attacks again. But anyway, we do have finger and thumb holes, so you can pick up your deli super easily. You're not, scrabbling around or having to awkwardly pick them up. Those finger holes do work. It's very natural. Like I said, we had a couple of these as prototypes at the show, and those features really do make a difference there. So Steven put a lot of work into that. So moving on from the scratch resistant full 1/4 inch polycarbonate protection door there with keyed locks, we do have the protection on the corners. So if you've ever vended a show or really traveled with anything like in your car or in a trailer, the corners you have to watch out for, or should watch out for. I know that when I'm in a hurry, you just want to kind of throw things in there. Well, the corners are there to help protect in travel, and also when you're sliding around on your vendor table, it's got some protection there. So really cool. That's one of the other things that we were testing out in my prototype units and absolutely loved it. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, it does have a foot in the rear. So that is a slide-on foot to raise it and tilt it at this angle. Or you can use it without the foot riser and just have it flat. But if you walk up to it on a vendor table, they're typically, at most reptile shows, they're the same height. So this gives access to people wanting to look at it, whether they're tall, they're shorter, or they're children. You can still kind of see the animals displayed pretty evenly. So I know that's a big deal, especially if you're like having crested geckos or like hognose snakes, where you want people to be able to see their coloration. So once again, a lot of cool stuff. They do have the fans in the back there with the LEDs, so that does allow airflow to flow through there, so you're not having any kind of heat buildup as you're displaying them at the show. So those are super cool, super quiet. You can check out the website for more of the details and some photographs and stuff. But the fans look super cool. Typical nice install, very clean there. Steven put a lot of work into that, and we experimented with several fan setups, and really came to like this setup. So this is something that we've personally tested, which we usually test everything, but this has actually been to a show, and like I said, everybody absolutely loved it. We got a lot of comments on it, and it's just nice. You can see it grabs people's attention. You've got the glowing around it if you have the optional LEDs. So we actually placed some business cards here And if you ever see our business cards, they're holographic, so the light kind of shined on them. It was just a cool little feature. So these really make me smile. We're really proud of them, and yeah, really awesome displays. So they are for the Deli cups. They're from Pangea Reptile, the Ultra Clear. Other delis may work, but we personally designed these for the Ultra Clear Pangea Reptile ones. Ah, the joys of working in a shop with a big spinning robot going off all the time, or at least its air system. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so these super awesome. So if you can get them without the optional dimmable LEDs, and those will not include the fans. Since you won't be having any of the lighting units inside there. But you can option it out kind of as you want. But the standard options, you do have all the protection on it. You have the scratch resistant anti-theft shield there with the keyed locks. You've got the foot riser. You've got the, of course, the cool focus cubed design aspects there. And let me show you without the lights on. I did use it with the lights a little dimmed. It also depends on the lighting at your, I guess, your vending area. But you know, just like anything, it's a little bit of a test and tune, how you like it and how you prefer it. But there's the setup there. Let me see, it's actually, there we go. I had it kind of dimmed down a little bit so those lights weren't so bright. You know how phones like to make it a little bit more brighter, but you can see it does have great visuals there. So really, it can be set up to your preference. So once again, these are the new Deli displays for the Pangea Reptile Ultra Clear Deli cups.